Hi, I'm Bobbie from Costa Vista Farms out here in Cape George, and we're going to talk about worms today, or vermiculture. A few years ago, Ann and I, my partner Ann and I, took the wonderful Growing Groceries class, and they introduced us to vermiculture. And we got worms from one of the community gardens where they have worms. And the worms that you get for a worm bin are not the same worms that are going to be found in your regular compost, and they're not the ones that you'll find in your garden. They are different. They're red wigglers, and you can find them online. Anyway, we have a box, a wooden box that is 4 feet long by 1 foot by 1 foot, and we use half of it at a time. So we only use 1 by 1 by 2. It's active. 1/2 is active. We sandwich a little soil, topsoil, a little bit of peat, food, worms, peat. It's a sandwich, and the worms will eat the food. And every 2 weeks, we come out here, we open the bin up, and we scrape. So when we're harvesting, we open the bin, the worms will go down to the bottom, and we just scrape like this, and harvest our beautiful worm compost. One of the questions we get about worms is, what do you feed them? And we feed our worms kitchen scraps, exclusively kitchen scraps. But the secret to feeding worms is to keep in mind that they are blind, toothless vegetarians. What would a blind, toothless vegetarian eat? Something that's pretty easy to eat. Anything that's very woody, they won't eat. They won't eat any citrus, no meat, of course, no fats, no potatoes, interestingly enough. One time we fed them a bunch of potato skins, and the worms literally threw the potato skins up to the top, and they didn't eat them because potatoes contain a natural compound that prevents bugs from eating them. Anyway, what I do is I rough chop, and here we've got a bunch of watermelon rind. I would just rough chop it up. I use an old Cuisinart food processor. You can get one at a garage sale pretty cheap. One way to extend the use of your worm poo is with worm tea, worm compost tea. It's pretty easy to make. We do it every 2 weeks. And because most of us will have some kind of municipal or private well system that has chlorine or other chemicals in it, you want to, for at least 12 hours, put the water in your bucket and let it off gas. One way we do that is with these little aerators. These I got online. It's just like an aquarium aerator. Obviously this is a bigger one, like for a pond. But you put a couple of these in this bucket. We use a garbage can, a 32 gallon garbage can. We fill up the water from our hose and let it go for 12 hours. We just aerate it. It off gases all the chlorine or anything else. Then we take 2 generous handfuls of the compost, the worm compost. We put it in here and we tie it up here, and it's going to steep like tea. I also add, the worms need something to eat, and so you use some unsulfured molasses, and I use maybe 3 tablespoons for 32 gallons. I also put a little bit of diatomaceous earth in, a couple handfuls of diatomaceous earth, And I put a few tablespoons of kelp meal. And we let that bubble away for 12 hours.
So once the worm tea is brewed and Bobbie has gone off for coffee, my job takes over, and I fill a sprayer. It's never been used for anything except worm tea. I fill this and I do a foliar spray, particularly on things that might have some kind of stress. The rest of the worm tea follows the worm poo being put on whatever plants we have, and then we just drench that. So the worm tea and the foliar spray are an incredible addition that have really helped my garden.